As I was explaining before, to me the way I think about mixing is that it's a box, you can only get so much in it. So everything you can get rid of on each sound, which is just taking up spare space and doing nothing, cut it. A lot of the time, especially if you've sampled an analog hi-hat or you've sampled a vinyl record, you'll find that the hi-hat is really busy on the sub end. That's doing nothing. All that's doing is taking up space, so trim that off. So then we've got our top loop here, which I've titled Extra Top. Again, that's just trimmed off. I'm going to change the curve of that, so that's just quite a hard high pass. I'll play that. So actually this one is telling me that there isn't really anything on the bottom there, but I've trimmed it nonetheless because why not? Moving on, we've got our open hi-hat. Again, just the bottom trimmed, and then of course it's feeding into the drum group, which is adding a bit of saturation, and this drum group is also being sent to this reverb where it's adding a little bit of background vibe. Fast hi-hat, I would imagine the same. I've actually done nothing on this, but I will now just trim that up. If you're a Cubase user or unfamiliar with it, this here is a built-in high pass and low pass filter. And obviously the EQ section here. Once again, you can do this with EQ8 if you're on Ableton. We'll move on to the last clap. Again, nothing, just a little bit of a boost amongst the mid-highs. So moving on to the bass or the acid line. This one we've got our pumper on. I've actually automated this pumper so that when it comes in, when the track drops in and it's only the acid line and the kick, I've really wanted to do a pump so the kick is coming through. Because this acid line has opened up quite a lot, I found the kick was getting lost. So I'll just play that section with that turned on and off. So if I take everything. So that was actually even a little bit much. It was probably too much of an automation there. So I just adjusted that slightly. I'm now going to play it with off. So if you particularly listen to the kick when that first comes in, I do think it does make a difference. So I'll put it back on again and we'll hear that just one last. You can definitely hear that classic sort of pumping effect that the pumper should in fact be doing. Then we've got effects rack. As you can see, I love this thing. We've got a bit of chorus going on here. We've got the decapitator again, which is more or less a sort of light distortion saturation unit. Then we've got radiator, which is emulating a mixing desk's channel. Once again, this is pretty much all dry with not much wet. And also I've put a tiny little bump here. So what's that doing? That's doing a 3 decibel bump in the sort of mid-highs just to give that acid a little bit of an extra pop. Risers, I don't think I've done anything to. I might trim up the bottom of these as well, just for the sake of being tidy. I'll go through and do these here. So these are just those white noises that go up, which we made in the second project. Our crash, nothing going on there. Overdrive, so this is just our bus. So one thing to bear in mind, once you're into this section, and you could do this in Ableton or any other program, is that our bus will obviously follow the song. So if you adjust something, you need to make sure you cut out the same section from the bus and they match up. Otherwise, what you're going to get, especially with the delays or something like that, is that they'll delay the wrong bit. It will be out of time. So something to keep an eye on. Our delay bus, you know, nothing's going on there. The only thing I have done is gone through and just adjust volume slightly. This is more to do with how the song's punching rather than like the overall volume of the delay. But I just found, for example, when it was coming in at a few points, it was coming in a bit loud. So I mean, if we hear here. So if I turn this back up to what it was, so back up to 0 decibels, i.e. no change to what we recorded it at. Or there we go, so we can now hear. It was just a bit distracting, I felt, to the whole general drop. So let me just redo that, which is done. Our reverb bus, nothing's been done to. Our music vocal bus has just had a little EQ, so I've just given it a little bit of a boost so it'll punch through. I'm going to take off the bottom again. I'm going to make this a harder curve so it's not affecting up here.